Time now for our rants and raves. And I'm going to start right there with you, Adam.
I want to rave for a terrific package that ran in the Boston Globe last weekend. It was a look by David Abel and photographer Craig Walker at life on what a lot of people still think of, rightly or wrongly, as Methadone Mile, that area around the intersection of Mass Ave and Milne Cass Boulevard that's become a gathering place for homeless people struggling with addiction. Incredible images, one of which we're seeing here, really evocative prose. It's an area that, I'm not in the city as much as I used to be. When I pass through there, I tend to drive through as quickly as I can, stare ahead, roll the windows up. And this did a really terrific job forcing you to think about the human reality that's playing out down there right now.
Yeah, I read that too. I had the same thought about it. And it's one of those things that always makes you want to do something, and you don't know what you can do.
So intractable, yeah.
All right, Lylah.
So I have a rave for Raju Nari Seti, who is the 2020 recipient of the Online Journalism Association's Rich Jaroslavsky Founder Award. Raju revolutionized digital journalism at the Wall Street Journal and at the Washington Post. In both of those outlets, he was the youngest person on the masthead and the first person of color on the masthead. So I don't know him personally, but I am so excited to see him win this award because he's really blazed a trail for so many people over the years, and it's great to see that kind of recognition.
Well, good for him. All right, Callie.
I have a rave for something called service journalism. I think I would have thought about it as consumer journalism, but it's much more specific. So the New York Times has Smarter Living, Vox has Eater at Home, NPR has Life Kit. And what all of these pieces do are really tell you how to live at home. So tips on how to make face masks fit better, reading lists about institutional journalism, actionable advice is what they call it. And it's become very popular during the coronavirus period, as you can imagine. I recall that I did something about best mask, face masks to have, most effective. And this has now become a part of other stories that we do about face masks, for example, and where they're manufactured and how many we need and all those hard stories. This is now integral to people's lives, and it's becoming more popular. And I think it's a great thing. So, I give it a rate.
You're talking about the New York Times thing?
The New York Times.
Yeah, they do it every day. It's like a lot of them are food-oriented.
Yeah, Vox is Eater at Home. NPR, though, has Life Kit. So
things you can do at home. And I thought, oh, my God, I don't want to get out. I don't want to do it at home. All right, John.
I'm ranting about a particularly useless Twitter spat that occurred this past week involving Rachel Bitecofer, a political scientist who's made a name for herself as basically a pollster, or she creates models of how elections might turn out. She got in this Donnybrook with several of the big-name nerd pollsters in the media these days, all of whom appear to be named Nate. Who ganged up. She made a mistake in one of her models. They piled on like it was the worst offense in the history of mankind. Twitter can be a useful medium sometimes for correcting things. People are watching. They catch an error. They point something out. It can be useful that way. Other times like this, it makes your head spin and you want to say to the people involved, please, get on Amazon and see if you can get a good price on a life.
Well, John, where's your line about an open sewer? Isn't that your...
Yeah, this is yet another outfall pipe, Emily. Thank you for pointing that out.
All right. We actually have a little bit of extra time, so maybe we can debate this one a little bit. I have a rave tonight, actually, for the Boston Globe, and it's a very unusual marketing deal with Biogen. Now, what they've done is Biogen has bought 4,000 digital subscriptions to the Boston Globe, giving them to 4,000 employees, I should say. And in return, there's this kind of symbiosis. The Globe is going to sponsor these forums on climate and things like that. There's one coming up that Linda Pizzuti-Henry is going to moderate. The question is, and I know Dan Kennedy wrote about this too, I'm raving about it. I think it's great. I think it's somebody's doing something different. It's apparently bringing in some $800,000. I don't know that figure to be sure true, but about six figures anyway into the Boston Globe. But is there an ethical issue here? If they have to bring, are the reporters going to go squishy on Biogen? Or I doubt that. But it's just that it's a little bit of a crossing line, as we've seen before, with not touching advertisers and stuff like that. But overall, I'd say it's a good plan going forward.
All right, can I get my 2 cents
Yeah.
in since we've got some extra time? All right, if this deal were in place when the Biogen conference turned out to be the super spreader event for COVID in
right.
Massachusetts, how awkward, here comes the commuter rail again, how awkward would it have been for Globe journalists covering that to know that the Globe was getting nearly $1 million from this
But I
sponsorship?
still think they'd do it, don't you?
Well, I'm sure they would, but I wouldn't want to be put in that position.
Yeah.
And let's look ahead. What if Biogen rolls out a COVID vaccine and it goes completely wrong?
Okay, but look at the Red Sox. I mean, they've managed that all these years. You know, ownership of the Red Sox, ownership of the Globe, same people. So
What if
Let's
you
give 'em a
have
chance.
to only use their people to talk about climate change? That's the only one.
Yeah, I know. All right, we'll see how it goes forward.